what's up everyone? This is Dan the Movie Man with another big show for you today. Today I'm going to be talking about a film that a lot of you may not know about, and that is called The Space Between. Not The Space Between Us, not that crappy Asa Butterfield space movie. I'm talking about an independent film that was shot in Canada and that was written, directed, produced, and starring Amy Jo Johnson. That's right. The original Pink Power Ranger did a little independent short film in Canada. Now you're probably wondering, well, why are you reviewing it right now and where can I see this movie? Well, recently I got a chance to go to the Boston International Film Festival, and I only got invited to this movie in particular, and I thought this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'll never be able to get this again. And I went to it, and I was very much pleased. Now, the film is about a man who gets a letter in the mail, and finds out that his newborn child is not his. So he goes on a little journey to find the baby daddy, and you start to wonder, is he gonna fight him? Is he gonna talk with him? What is he gonna do when he finds this character? And I gotta say, for a film like this, I really like films like this because it shows what you can do with a low budget, but use it wisely. And from what I saw, for a first-time director for Amy Jo, I would say that this is probably one of the best movies that I've seen all year. It is very touching, and when the movie opened up, I thought that this was going to be a straight-up drama. I thought it was, the moment where you're watching it, you're like, oh, this is going to be a really serious, kind of a downer. But then the movie continues, and it just shows on how witty it can be, and I think that is definitely through the perspective of Amy Jo Johnson. Like, she has an amazing sense of humor when it comes to writing, and now I see her as an actress, a singer, and a director and writer, and I know she has a new film coming out called, hold on, I have it right here. It's called Breaking Emma, and I don't know what Breaking Emma is about or who's in it, but until she announces it, I'm going to be all for it. The characters in this movie are incredibly three-dimensional, and especially the actor who plays Mitch, which is Michael Cram. And I guess Michael Cram was more known for playing rough characters, but in this, his character is a little more fragile and emotional, and something you wouldn't really see him do much in. And some of the other actors in it, including Julia Sarah Stone, who plays this girl that Mitch comes across, where she has problems of her own, and they start to build a friendship, and she asks, what are you going to do when you find this guy? It's like, I don't know. And what I really like is the promotion for this movie. They only had one trailer, and they didn't show that much. I mean, you get like a sense of what the tone is going to be like, but you don't know what the payoff is going to be. You don't know how it's going to end. You don't know what the consequences are going to be. And you're like, okay, now it gets me interested. And the film does a fantastic job at blending humorous moments with dramatic situations, which I find to be a little bit of a flaw, but mainly a good positive where there were moments where I was laughing, but then there are moments where I was like, should I be laughing? I mean, this is pretty dark right here for me to be, humored by. But I think that was always the intention. And after the movie, I got a chance to speak with Amy Jo Johnson, and I asked her, were the scenes where everyone was laughing, were they always intended to be comedic moments, or were they intended to be dramatic moments but ended up being comedic due to the delivery and mannerisms from the cast, including herself? And she told me that those scenes were intentionally supposed to be comedic, which goes to show that she knows comedy very well. The way how she writes is so intelligent and comedically emotional. And it's definitely the message of the film says it's not your blood or the fact that you're related that makes you family. It's how close you are and what you do to earn that position. And I feel like that is a completely strong message to come across. And with all some of there's one moment in this movie where the main guy and the girl he meets along the way have to, look proper, and he's just wearing a gas station uniform, and he just goes all the way to a funeral home and asks, it's like, hi, I'm looking for my uncle's tux, and it comes off a little awkward, but the way how it's written and how the writing and characters all work together, it's just comedy gold. Especially these characters that they meet at the funeral parlor. These guys cracked me up. I was dying laughing in my seat. No pun intended. But once you see it, and what I really like about these characters is that we've seen characters like Mitch. We've seen characters like Amy Jo Johnson's character. Even Michael Ironside is in the movie, who plays this character, Nikki, who is Amy Jo Johnson's father in the movie. And usually I'm used to seeing this character play villains or serious roles. And to see him do comedy for a change is a little bit of a fresh breath of fresh air. And I know I'm just trying to get all these words out, but it's definitely a film that left me speechless on how great it was. I would say this is definitely one of the best movies that I have seen all year. It's probably going to be in my top 10 along with Logan, or it may be in my top 15, but it's way too early to tell. So the final verdict for The Space Between is an A. Now, I don't know if this film is going to come to the US because it was filmed in Canada, but they brought it over to Boston just for this viewing. And I would say if it's going to be coming anywhere near the Cape, I would highly recommend seeing it. It's definitely a family movie. In a lot of ways, the film reminds me of two movies, Sideways and Manchester by the Sea. In a way, both of these movies have heart, but it's never afraid to be funny. And I think it was more geared toward as a comedy, just more of a dark comedy. But the way how it's done is, like for instance, with Sideways, one thing I wanted to talk about, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's one of those films where it's like, there's way too much drama going on. But when it gets to a comedic moment, it's hilarious. It really is straight up hilarious. And it's mainly because we've been watching so much drama that the little bit of humor just gets to us. And I would say the same thing goes for Manchester by the Sea. Like, Manchester by the Sea is not a happy movie whatsoever, but it's never afraid to have comedic moments, which gives the characters a bit of humanity. And that's what I believe that The Space Between did as well. So like I said, the movie gets an A, and I would highly recommend it to anyone that is willing to see. Like, if you're up for independent films, or if you just want to watch a movie on demand, I would say check it out. It's definitely worth the time, and you will not be disappointed. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed my review. Until then, this is Dan the Movie Man, signing off.